Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Insufferable with me, your host, Lindsay. How? Episode 60. Um, hey you guys, it's gonna be a short episode today. Girl, I got a lot to do. Why am I so busy lately? I feel like I was not busy for like 10 years and now I'm just so busy. Okay? That's how manifestation works. Okay? When you manifest, hope and wish for more time with your friends, being outside more, socializing more, be careful what you wish for because the schedule will be booked, girl. You will have things to do, obligations that you committed to, and those things are fun and I am excited for them, but it is still confusing to me that I have shit on my calendar. It's kind of crazy. It's really kind of crazy. So yeah, I need to do a couple of things today. I need to get this filmed and edited and uploaded. Okay, today I'm going to a fight night to see Natty Ice. Shout out Natty Ice. She's going to be the winner. And then tomorrow I have a celebration of life for Sarah's grandma. So I'm pretty excited about that too. I mean, it's not really exciting to go to a celebration of life or a funeral, but it'll be nice to see her whole family and celebrate Martha. Shout out to Martha. Um, yeah, and also I work now. I have a job. Okay? So many hours of my week are taken up by this job, which I love actually. It's not a bad job. It's pretty chill and um, you know, one of the better jobs I've ever had, but it's still so many hours, so many hours. It's not even so many hours either. I don't even work full time. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, I can't do anything for like this 6 or 7 hour time frame of the day. And I haven't experienced that in a while now. It's been a while since I've had a job. Well, I've had a job now for a month, but I'm saying I went like a year without one. And so now I'm kind of being like, oh, I forgot that your whole day is basically you have to work around your work shifts, which I don't wish on any of us, but I do like my job, so it's not as bad as it could be. So yeah, we're busy around here. We're busy around here. I'm trying to be very diligent about what I do when I do it. It is still Mercury retrograde. She is still ravaging across my friends' lives. I'm having to witness some, unfortunate circumstances for us all, to be honest. I mean, Mercury retrograde isn't all about unfortunate circumstances. But Mercury retrograde in the sign of Cancer is kind of giving the tower. It's kind of giving the tower, guys. Unfortunately, a lot of things are coming up, a lot of feelings and emotions related to your personal life and what you are willing to accept in your life moving forward and all that kind of stuff that's kind of hard to address. That's what is happening with the Mercury retrograde. I've been super sleepy, super just like, who the fuck can watch a live whatnot clothing sale for more than an hour? I didn't think it could be me. Unfortunately, it has been me. It has been me like the last week I've been on Whatnot watching live sales. And the thing about watching live sales on Whatnot is like you have to watch to see if there's anything that you want. Do I have any money to spend? No, I do not. But if there's a pair of overalls, free shipping for $5, maybe I'll stay a little bit longer at work so I can justify buying those. Okay. But yeah, that's the thing about Whatnot is you have to stay tuned. You have to stay tuned to see what these people have. And this is kind of my dream scenario too. Like they're literally just in a warehouse pulling clothes out of a bin and unwrapping them. They're basically like undelivered Amazon packages of clothes. It's crazy, but I'm like, I wish I could just go, dig through the bins myself, and then pay like, $5, $6 a pound at the end. You know what I mean? Let me load up a cart and charge me by the pound, you know? So I'm gonna go to the flea market tomorrow. I'm really hoping to I don't know what I'm hoping to find. I really want some like motocross boots, like some leather, but I'm not gonna go and spend $80 on some boots. You know what I mean? I am just not in that position right now. I'm really not. Okay. The budget went from 0 to $12. Okay. Heaven forbid I want to buy an item for $6. You know what I mean? Am I going to find leather motocross Harley Davidson boots at the, vintage flea market for $6? No. Am I going to find it for $12? Probably not. But you don't know if you don't look. Okay. At the end of the day, you have to show up. Okay. That is what life is all about. That is what all the theater teachers in my youth always told me is at the end of the day, whoever shows up is going to get the opportunity. Okay. And that's how thrifting works. That's how sourcing works. It's all about being in the right place at the right time. And if you don't show up, you don't get the goods. Okay. And I like the flea market. I like roaming around. I'm a little bit nervous. It's going to be hell hot tomorrow, but my other obligations aren't until 2:30 and the flea market's at like 7 a.m. So I am going to try to go and just have a grand little time at the flea market. Hopefully I find something good. Okay. I wish I could manifest that. Like one time I had this dream. That I was shopping at this little boutique, okay? The boutique in my dream was actually this boutique that's right up the road from me that I've never been to. I've walked past it a million times. I've never gone inside, okay? Boutique prices they don't really align with me, and shout out to them. They're probably charging, it's probably valid what they're charging is what I mean. Like, it's not like I'm sure cost for them is not as low as I would hope it would be. Okay. But they still got to make a profit. I totally understand. It's hard for me to spend money. I'm trying to get rid of those blockages. But anyway, in my dream, I was shopping at this boutique, and there was like bins. There was like boxes, like cardboard boxes with a bunch of stuff in it. And it was like this crazy sale. It was like fill up this whole bag for $10. And it was like a trash bag, like a 13-gallon trash bag's worth. And it's like whatever you can fit in this bag, $10. Okay. That kind of sale sends me into orbit. Okay. That is what I like to see. Not a lot of people like sales like that because what do you have to do? You have to get down and dirty into some bins. Okay. You got to put on mask and some gloves and really get down in there to see if there's anything for you in these bins. Okay. You have to commit to the bit. But at the end of the day, fill up this bag for $10 is such a blessing to those of us who want a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes, a lot of jewelry, a lot of accessories, but either don't have the budget to support that addiction, or simply I don't know what the other I lost my train of thought there. So, we want a lot of stuff, we don't have a lot of money. Or just it's the moral like not obligation. What am I saying right now, you guys? Let me bring it back a second. Hold on. Rewind. You either don't have the money to do it, or it doesn't align with your moral compass to go ahead and spend a bunch of money on a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? I do like quality stuff, but like quantity over quality, sometimes that is good, especially when you haven't shopped for like 2 years. Okay. I haven't been able to shop for 2 years. And by shop, I mean thrift, girl. I'm looking for dollar items. I'm looking to give old vintage clothes a second chance. I'm looking to get stuff that I could then mend and sew and everything. I ripped a hole in the crotch of my Carhartts yesterday at work. I'm going to have to mend those. Am I going to throw them away because they have a rip, like hole in the crotch? No. You probably would, but not me. I'm going to sew a patch in the crotch of my Carhartts, okay? And that is not the first patch I've sewn in those Carhartts. This will be patch like number 6 on these Carhartts that I got in bins at the flea market, in which I will be going to tomorrow. So hopefully the bins are plentiful, okay? Also, my job, there's no uniform. I work in a warehouse and I'm making soap. And so everything you wear pretty much is going to get ruined. So you can't be wearing like clothes that you care about. Okay. But I still want to look cool. Still want to look cute. Okay. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. It's got everything to do with me. I still like to look cute. Um, so maybe I could get some dollar shirts out of the bins and maybe some old, carpenter style pants for cheap. Okay. I think it's $10 a pound at the flea. So we'll see what I can find. Budget's $12. So that's what we're working with. And, good luck to us on that. Anyways, yeah, I have a lot going on this weekend, and then I have work all week, and then next week I'm gonna go kayaking with my brother. I've never been on a kayak. Not really a fan of the open water, but I know that my brother wants to hang out, so I'm going to indulge. But yeah, I'm gonna be sitting on the open water in a kayak, which I've never done, probably having to listen to death metal. So that's what's going on next week. Good luck to me on that. Should be fun. Hopefully it's not too hot. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, my main topic and basically only topic for today, we are going to cut it short. Like I said before, I got a lot of shit to do. So, anyways, um, I went to see Toy Story 5 a couple of days ago with Sarah and Alex, okay, the homies. And here's the thing about when I see movies is I do want to see the movie on the half off day. Okay? I need the half off price. Okay. I don't need to beat a dead horse and tell you guys I just do not have money to be spending like that. But you know how much I love movies. If you watch this podcast, watch or listen to this podcast, you know that I have a passion for movies and storytelling at large. Okay. And when new movies come into the theater and I am at rock bottom, I still need to scrounge some change to be able to see a movie, okay? The Pike, Cinemark Theater, it has a half off day, which is Tuesday, so that's basically the day that I always try to go, okay? It's like $8 instead of $19 or whatever, which $19 for a movie ticket is crazy work. Is crazy fucking work. You guys wonder why people aren't going to the movies? 20 fucking dollars for a ticket is insane. Is insane. And they know that. That's why they don't be checking your bags anymore at the movie theater. Before you couldn't get in with a bite-sized Milky Way. Okay? In my teenage years, you couldn't get in with a bite-sized fucking Snicker in your bag. They'd be like, no outside food. Okay. Now you can literally roll up with the fucking crab boil and nobody's going to say anything. It's just they know whatever it's going to take to get you in those doors and buy that $20 ticket. They are going to be lenient on the rest of the rules, that they typically would enforce at a movie theater. Okay. I don't want to go into any establishment that's going to tell me I cannot bring my water bottle. Okay. My hydro flask, my emotional support water bottle. Okay, I do not appreciate in this day and age, and when you think about it, were we drinking water as teenagers? Hell fucking no, girl. First of all, I drank tap water growing up. We never had a water source, like a drinking water source in my house. Okay. Sometimes you'd be lucky if you had the little, like, I don't know, 2 gallon or whatever that you put in the fridge. It had a little spout on it and you got some fucking Arrowhead spring water or whatever. Sometimes we had that. Not usually, though. It was a tap water household. Okay. So when you grow up drinking tap water, you do not be craving water. Okay. The human design is not craving tap water. We'll just say that. Okay. If it's a desert situation, you're hella thirsty, you're dehydrated, sure. Okay. Similar to the Vegas story that I told you guys when I woke up on the bathroom floor and I had to drink whatever water source I could drink from. Okay. And ended up being a really nasty source. Okay. Go back a couple episodes if you want to hear that story. Okay. But your body does not crave tap water. Okay. When you drink tap water, your organs are like, girl, we got to filter out all this damn chlorine, all this, whatever the fuck else, all the chemicals, you know what I mean? It's not a fucking secret. It's not a conspiracy that tap water is not good, okay? And that is why your body does not crave it. And that is why as a teenager, I wasn't drinking water like that. You know what I mean? I was not drinking a lot of water. And you know what's crazy is the water always made my stomach sick when I was growing up. I would, get my water from the faucet, I would drink it, my stomach would hurt. But when I drank iced tea that my mom had made with like drinking water, my stomach would not hurt. And I'm like, why is regular water making my stomach hurt, but the iced tea is not? Interesting. Interesting. Because my mom would get spring water or whatever, and she would make sun tea. You know what I mean? You fill up the mason jar, you put it out in the back with all the tea bags in it. We always had iced tea in the fridge. Okay. Big iced tea family. No lemon. Um, yeah. The water made me sick. So anyway, we didn't drink a lot of water. And I don't know if you can think back on your teenage years and your childhood years. We was drinking out of the hose in the front yard during the summer when we was playing in the sprinklers. Shout out to those who did not have a pool. Okay, we did a lot of sprinkler activity in my family. Okay, it was a sprinkler kind of family. We would drink out of the hose. Okay. That's me being 6 years old, 7 years old, playing in the sun when summers were 82 degrees max. Okay. We're rocking 98-degree summers now. Shout out Nick Lachey. And, you know, if you think back on your teenage years and your childhood years, like, were you drinking water like that? No. No. But once I grew up, once I started doing my own health research, um, I got really serious about the water that I was drinking. Okay. And not so serious that I'm buying a fucking Kangen water filter or whatever. Okay. A little pyramid scheme situation. Okay. I'm not saying that it's not a good filter. I'm saying it is a pyramid scheme. Um, but I did start getting good water from, Whole Foods, Lazy Acres. Now Sprouts has one. It's like the machine that disperses drinkable, clean, fresh water for you. And you get the 5-gallon jug and you fill that up and you have the little dispenser back at the crib. Okay. So once I started to drink good water, I started to enjoy said water. And so I would start drinking more water. Okay. Now, since the discovery of, let me look, hold on. I think this was about 2016. When did the hydro flask water bottle craze start? Mid to late 2019. The brand was founded in 2009, became a massive cultural phenomenon during the summer of 2019, driven by the viral Visco girl subculture on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. During this peak, teenagers and young adults used the brightly colored vacuum insulated bottles as a canvas to express their personalities, covering them in stickers and adding custom friendship bracelets. Okay. I think it came before 2019. I don't know what the fuck Google Gemini is saying over here, but we were alive for this. Okay, my niece used to make fun of me because I always had my water bottle on me and she used to call me a Visco girl, okay? I found out later Visco is like a editing at like a photo editing app that you like put filters on your photos or whatever. But that was the subculture was the Visco girl. She always had her water bottle and it always had fun stickers on it, okay? I don't put stickers on my water bottle though. It's a little too overstimulating for me, but I brought my water bottle everywhere with me, okay? And people used to clown me for it. You know, the young kids used to clown me for it, my young niece. But now it's totally normal to have everyone in your friend group, they don't fucking leave the house without their water bottle, okay? All that to say, if I go to the movies and some fucking cashier's like, "You can't bring that outside water in," I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm so sorry. It should be against the law, and I'm serious. There needs to be legislation that I can bring in a fucking water bottle wherever I want to go. Wherever I want to go. I went to a witchy market like a couple of weekends ago and they be checking your bags before you go in. It's a maker's market full of like witches, you know what I mean? Tarot readers and oracle readers and, oils, crystals, you know what I mean? It's a niche market of like witchy stuff. Okay, super fun actually. Shout out to them. But when we were getting our stuff checked, this day I did not bring my water bottle, which is unlike me, but I didn't want to carry it on this day. Okay. Sometimes it gets pretty heavy. At 32 ounce, it gets pretty heavy. Sometimes you're like, I don't want to carry it. Okay. But I was getting my bags checked and they had all of this stuff there that people had to leave behind because they couldn't bring it into the venue. And there was a lineup of water bottles, of Hydro Flask water bottles. And I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't they let you bring in a fucking water bottle to this event in the dead of heat? By the way, I got so sunburned. Okay, that was my bad. I should have put fucking sunscreen on. Okay, I take responsibility for that. But it was hot as fuck. It was hot as fuck. And there was no shade. It was completely outdoors, this market. And you're really going to tell people they can't bring their water bottle in? There needs to be legislation. There needs to be legislation. We need to call our senators and our representatives. Okay? I'm serious. It's unfair. It's not okay. It's not okay. So anyway, we went to the movies. You know what though? At the witchy market, you know what else there was a fucking pile of? Mace. Fucking pepper sprays. Okay? Because this event was attended by mostly young women. And we all had a mace on us and we were not allowed to bring it inside the market. Heaven forbid I have, some form of protection. We need to have like open carry mace laws as well. Okay. I need to be able to bring it in anywhere I go. Okay. That's what I'm putting in the bill that I'm proposing. We need to have our water bottles. We need to have our mace. Okay. If it's a knife, sure, I won't bring it in. Okay. We have knives too, by the way, us ladies. And if you don't want me to bring that in, fine. But a mace, a non lethal, I should be able to take that wherever. Okay. I should be able to bring that in the damn courthouse if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Anyways, we went to go see Toy Story 5. Okay. Was the movie good? Yes, it was actually. Yes, it was. As coming from someone who thinks that Toy Story 3 should have been the last Toy Story, it was a perfect ending. It was so emotional. And I truly think it was the perfect end to the story of these toys. Okay. Could have left it there. Okay. I did not see in full Toy Story 4, the one with the fork. Okay. And I had to watch a recap of Toy Story 4, like a YouTube. I just like went on YouTube, like Toy Story 4 recap. because I was like, it's Toy Story 5. I don't think I ever saw Toy Story 4. I know it had the fork in it, and everybody didn't like the fork. Okay. But during the recap, I found out that the fork is having, from what I gathered, the little girl saves the fork from being thrown away. It's a spork, actually, by the way. It's a spork. And she puts googly eyes on it and some fucking arms or whatever and is treating it like a toy. Okay, she made this piece of trash a toy, but apparently in the movie the spork is having an existential crisis where it thinks its destiny is to be trash, and it keeps throwing itself in the trash. And of course, Woody on his fucking high horse is trying to tell this spork that it is more than that. The little girl made it something special and she loves it like any of her other toys. And just because it started off as something who was supposed to be trash, it doesn't mean that. Okay, this little girl gave you a new life and you need to respect her. She's your toy now. You are her toy. You need to stop trying to kill yourself. Okay? And that is a crazy plot like line for a children's movie, I think. A character who's constantly trying to kill itself. So, did I see Toy Story 4? I don't think so. Okay. After watching the recap, I'm like, I don't think I saw this one. Okay. Toy Story 3 was enough for me. Toy Story 5, pretty good. Okay. I was concerned about the tech conversation and if they were going to nail it, make it digestible, the tech of it all. But I think they did a really good job. I think they did a really good job. I think the major takeaway was all of the adults not paying attention to their children. Okay. They're on Zoom calls, they're scrolling, they're online shopping. Like none of the adults in the movie are paying attention. And it is very apparent. Okay. It's a big theme in the storytelling in this one. Okay. And yeah, I think they did a good job. I think they did a good job also too making it like, portraying the fact that like the idea of this technology like creating doubt and insecurity in young children, and then they grow up with that insecurity, and it does sort of um it's a theme in their life now. So they did a pretty good job. I did like the movie. However, what we're talking about today is not the movie itself, it's the movie experience. Okay, here is what happened. I don't know. I think I told you guys, several episodes back when Sierra and I went to go see what do you call it? The Lord of the Rings. They brought all of the Lord of the Rings back to the theater for the 25th anniversary or whatever. And we had issues with the theater double booking our seats. Okay. All 3 times. We got to the theater, someone else was sitting in our seats, and they had purchased the same seats that we had. Okay. This is not something that can happen when you have assigned seating at the movie theater. Okay. You can't be doing that. Okay. You guys need to figure your shit out. And so the last 4 times that we have been to the Pike Theater, Cinemark, okay, they have fucked our shit up, okay? We also went, so that whole thing happened with the Lord of the Rings, and then a couple of weeks later, we went to go see Top Gun when they brought that back to the theater for the 30th or 40th anniversary of that or whatever. I think it was the 40th. Um, they canceled one of our showings and fucked up our whole shit because we had like we were gonna see the original Top Gun and then we were gonna see Maverick right after. But they canceled like the first showing and was like, oh, we just like switched the time. It was a whole thing. It was a whole fucking thing. And we were like, fuck this theater. They do not have their shit together. I don't know what the fuck is going on with the Pike Theater here in Long Beach and calling you guys out. You need to figure your shit out. Okay. Because 4 times in a row we've been there It has been an issue, okay? And now here goes the 5th time, okay? Here goes the 5th time. I should have known better. Okay, but they have the half off day. And I was under the impression that the AMC at Marina Pacifica did not have the half off day. Turns out they do. They have 2 half off days, actually, by the way. We'll get into that later. Okay, but here's the thing. I said, you know what? We're going to go and we're going to do the half off day. You know what I mean? Everyone I know needs to do the day on the deal. We need the deal in order to be able to go see this film. Okay. So we go to the Pike, even though I said, hey, the last couple of times I've been here, shit has gotten fucked up and it really pissed me off. But I'm going to give it another chance. I'm going to give it another chance. Okay. So we go to the movie. We're running late. Sarah decided to paint her nails gel before we left. Okay. So you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Okay. So we are running late to the film. Okay. We get into the theater. Okay. Alex goes to get the popcorn. Sarah goes to the pisser. And I say, I'm going to go into the theater and just sit down. Okay. I want to see the previews. Okay. The previews were about to start, or had already started. Okay. And so I go in there and we have seats 7, 8, 9. I don't remember which row. Let's say E. E, 7, 8, 9. Okay. We go in there. There is a child sitting in seat E7, which is my seat. And I said, what the fuck are you doing here? No, I didn't. Because I'm not confrontational. And of course, I'm not going to ask a child to get up. The child was sitting there with 4 other children and 1 adult. And they were dining in, by the way. Every single one of them had a popcorn to themselves. They had nachos. They had the whole fucking night. They all had sodas. Like, it was an entire situation. They were like really eating a lot. Okay. That does become relevant later on in the story. Usually it's not. Am I looking at what people are eating in the fucking theater? No. I just said you could bring a crab boil in there. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. But this kid is sitting in my seat. So I sit in 8. And when Sarah gets in there, I'm like, hey, this kid's sitting in my seat. And I don't want to ask him to move. So let's just move down 3 seats and hopefully no one is sitting here. Okay. What happened? The people whose seats we were sitting in, they asked us to move. Okay. Something I should have done to the little child sitting in my seat. Okay. And we're confused and we're trying to tell the mom, or like we go and we look at the fucking theater thing being like, what seats are actually open? Because this is what happened to us at the Lord of the Rings. They were like, oh, the people who got to the seat first are entitled to the seat. Now you just guys have to sit somewhere else that's open. So we had to like look and see like what seats weren't sold and sit in those seats. Okay. Those seats are usually fucking row A and row B, which nobody even wants. Nobody's going to pay for those seats anyway. Why the fuck would I have purchased my tickets ahead of time to go ahead and be told, like, now I have to go sit wherever's free and it's the worst seats that nobody wants to buy? Like, that's so fucking unfair. Okay. And this is what the Pike be doing now. This is their fucking MO. So we go and we try to find other seats. We're looking on the app at the theater and like every seat is sold out pretty much. There's nowhere for us to sit and we're scrambling around. Now we have our popcorn and our drinks and our candy and we're carrying it around here and there and here and there. We have our sweaters, everything. Okay. Sarah loses her sweater at some point. It's like, it's a chaotic situation. Okay. So we go up, or Alex with all of his, confidence goes up to the lady and is like, hey, your kid is sitting at 7. We're 7, 8, 9. And the lady's like, we're 7. And he's like, okay. So she pulls out her ticket and shows us that she is also has purchased seat 7, which I also purchased. Okay. Here we have another double book situation. What the fuck is going on with Cinemark at the Pike in Long Beach? This is so crazy that this is happening again. And I'm like, you guys really got me fucked up right now. You got me fucked up. And of course we were running late. And of course now the movie's fucking starting. Okay. So Sarah and Alex are sitting there. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll fucking go get a manager and see what the fuck. Okay. We're obviously not seeing this movie tonight, but we are definitely getting a refund, if not extra tickets on top of that. Like, I literally don't even want to fucking come back here. I want you to give me a double refund so I can go get my refund and then spend the money on another fucking theater around here because you guys are pissing me off for the last time. Okay. So we go to the manager. We're like, hey, it looks like our seats were double booked. Like, we have these seats, and the lady who's sitting in the seats that are supposed to be ours, she has tickets that says that she got the same seats. It's a double book situation. Like, what the fuck is going on? So the manager goes in and checks to see everyone's tickets. Okay. Turns out the lady and her children, they were in the wrong theater. Okay. Our movie started at 5:40, theirs started at 4:40, okay? We're kinda thinking that they were late for the 4:40, and they went ahead and just jumped into the 5:40. They just were like, "Who's gonna say something?" Which is valid because I didn't wanna say something. Alex did, thank God, shout out to him, but I did not want to ask a child to move out of my seat. And she showed us that she had the seat 7 too. So it did seem like a situation, okay? So the manager basically told her and all her kids, you guys have to go to the theater that you booked for. Like, these are not your seats. You know what I mean? You're in a different theater. So the manager asked her and all her kids to leave. Okay. I felt really bad. I did feel really bad, to be honest. But she was trying to pull one probably. She was trying to pull one because she was late for the 4:40 and was like, might as well do the 5:40. Okay, that's not how it works. That's not how it works when you get assigned seating. Okay, I don't want to be a stickler for the rules, but you can't just choose a different time frame and sit in the same seat. Okay, those seats have been sold. They have been sold already to someone, and that someone is me. And I do not have a backbone when it comes to confrontation with people in the wild. I don't want to be like, hey, you're in my seat, move. Like, that gives me anxiety just thinking about doing that. You know what I mean? It's the right thing to do is just say, like, hey, that's my seat. Let's figure this out. But I don't have the guts to do that. Okay. Alex did, though. Alex did have the guts to do that. And he did that. And then we found out that they were in the wrong theater. So the manager said, you guys got to go. You guys got to go into the theater that you're supposed to be in. Okay. That movie, it's already halfway done. So good luck to you on that. But yeah, hopefully they got refunds on their tickets because she probably didn't take her kids to that theater where the movie was already basically over. Hopefully she got refunds for her tickets for her and her kids. Okay. I hope that for her. So the manager comes out and he's like, hey, they're gonna leave. You guys can go sit in your seats now. Okay. And we're like, okay, thanks for your help. Blah, blah, blah. So we go back in. These fucking seats, bitch. These seats are covered in trash, dirty napkins, popcorn literally everywhere. Absolutely caked into the crevices of the seat, popcorn, butter everywhere. Okay. Dirty napkins, candy wrappers. They left their soda, like their empty soda cups, in the seats. Now we have to go sit in these dirty ass seats to see the fucking movie? What the fuck is going on? I feel like if you had to get up because you were in the wrong theater and this is not your fucking seats and your kids made a fucking mess, you could have at least like wiped off the little tables because they come with those little swivel tables. Those are the kind of seats that they have at this theater. And there's a little fucking swivel table. And there's literally, dude, the fucking seat number 7, the one the child was sitting in. Bro. There was fucking butter everywhere. They buttered the shit out of their popcorns. And you know what? Shout out to them. I'd be buttering my popcorn too. But if I knew I was leaving so someone could get their rightful seat that they purchased, would I leave that buttery popcorn all over the table and seat? I don't know if it's just me being a clean freak, but I wouldn't do that. I would be like, "Oh shit, these people like it is their fucking seat. Let me fucking wipe off the fucking seat real quick, make sure that they're coming in to sit." And it's crazy that like management would just be like, "Go ahead and sit in the seat now." The seat that's like it was a picture like a high chair after you just fed a baby spaghetti. Okay? A baby, she's eating spaghetti. And when you feed babies, you don't put it on a plate, right? You just put it on the surface that's in front of them. And they smash it around and they eat it and they're all dirty and it's running down the front of them and it's, puddling in the seat below them and the dog is there too eating all the droppings that are falling off. That's what it was like walking into these seats that we now have to sit in. Okay? I'm trying real hard not to be a stickler for the rules right now, but I think I deserve a refund now. Okay. Unfortunately, as management of this facility, you need to take responsibility for what this lady and her kids did. And you know what? No shade to this lady and her kids. Okay. She was trying to get one over. If that's the case, and see a fucking movie. She was late for the other one. She said, let's just go to the next showing. Okay. Nobody's ever going to know. We do know. We do know because that is how assigned seating works. Okay. Someone is buying that particular seat. Okay. And any other time, I wouldn't mind just shifting over and sitting in some available seats over there. Okay. Unfortunately, there was no available seats. Okay. The shit was fucking booked out. Everybody wanted to see Toy Story 5 on the half off day. So that's not my fucking problem. Okay. And I need to really get this, um, you know, backbone when it comes to shit like this in public and scenarios like this. Like, I don't want to be a Karen and I don't want to be construed as a Karen. Okay. Especially when it comes to something that's so like, it's the movies, okay? It's not like I'm fighting for life-saving medication that I need to get for myself or my mother, you know? I don't want to be fighting to the death to get a seat to see Toy Story 5 at the movie theater on a Tuesday night. Okay. Some things are not worth fighting for. And that is how I be picking my battles, dude. I be picking my battles. That's why when I see like these trends of like there's a new hydro flask or a new fucking what are those ones with the handle? Stanley Cup. They just released a new color. It's a collab with Barbie or whatever. And people are like stampeding and fighting to the death to get to their new Stanley Cup at the Target. You will never, ever catch me in a battle like that, girl. I will never put energy into something like that. Okay. You're lucky if I stand in a line somewhere. Okay. As soon as there's a line for something, I'm like, this is not worth it to me. Unless it is a food bank and I need food to feed me and my family, I will stand in a fucking line and maybe I will fight to the death. Okay. There are many scenarios on this fucking planet, as we know, where people have to fight to the death to get fucking food for their families. Okay. That's something you fight for. That is a battle that you are, human nature human nature will allow you to get the courage to fight for that. Okay. My human nature does not give me the courage to fight for a seat at a theater at Toy Story 5 when I could easily just get a refund and see it on a different day. Yes, it's very inconvenient, but it's not a battle that I'm willing to fight. It's just not. Okay. So the battle was fought for me by Alex and the manager of the theater, but walking into those fucking dirty ass seats was so disappointing and I was so fucking pissed. I've never seen a mess like that. This also reminds me of when I used to work at any restaurants and people brought their babies in, they would bring food for the babies, right? Like who knows if the baby's going to eat anything at this restaurant. Maybe the baby's very young and they're, just starting to eat solid foods or whatever. Like, people bring food for their babies at the restaurant. Okay. There was this one family that used to come into this breakfast restaurant that I worked at, and they would come in like, every other weekend or whatever. They were semi-regular customers, but they would always bring in rice for their baby. It was like rice with like little cubes of chicken that they packed for their baby every time they came in. Okay. Imagine a baby eating rice at a fucking restaurant. Mind you, the restaurant has carpet floors. Okay. A bad decision on the design of the restaurant? Sure. I was not involved in that decision. So do not blame me for that. Okay. I had to vacuum these floors at the end of the day. At the end of the day. Okay. This rice has been mashed into the carpet of this fucking floor for the last 6 hours of this brunch shift. And now I'm closer and I have to vacuum these little bits of rice, and they're fucking tracked all the restaurant now. Don't bring your baby rice to the restaurant. What's your fucking problem, bro? People who leave behind a mess like that, it fucking pisses me off. It pisses me off. And I'm the person at the theater who takes my trash and throws it. There's a trash can on the way out of the theater. Okay. You have to pass a trash can to exit the theater. Why wouldn't you grab all of your trash and throw it away? You know what I mean? If you drop a couple of fucking popcorn kernels on the floor, someone is going to sweep that up. Sure. You don't need to be on the floor with a fucking magnet, magnet, magnifying glass, making sure that you got every fucking piece of popcorn that you left on the floor. You know what I mean? It's inevitable that there's going to be a little bit of a mess left behind. But if you're going to leave your cup and your popcorn box and your candy wrappers and everything behind, what the fuck, dude? It's just the etiquette is not there anymore. Okay. So I will not be going to the Pike again. Okay. Mind you, um, when we went to go see the Tom Cruise flick, um Top Gun. We went to see Top Gun. Um It was just us 3, like me, Sierra, and Amber, like, in the theater, like, that's probably why they canceled one of our showings, because they didn't really sell a lot, but it was just us 3 in the theater, and between movies, we were just sitting in the theater, the lights were on, and we were chatting, and we look over, and at the end of the aisle, there's literally a giant cockroach reclined on a fucking seat in the same row as us. Okay. Huge, like the size of a rat, this cockroach. And we were like, oh my God, there's literally a whole fucking cockroach over there. And we were like freaking out. You know what I mean? Girly pops, like, ew. Now, who wants to fucking sit here and watch a movie with a cockroach? Not me. And the audacity of a cockroach to be sitting on a fucking seat, like viewing the film in the light too. Like, the lights were on because it was between showings of the movies. If you see a cockroach in the light of day and or under fluorescent lighting, that cockroach has the audacity. Okay. Usually when the lights come on, the cockroaches go to the dark spaces where you can't see them. Okay. And that's where they belong. And I was about to say, no offense to cockroaches, but offense to cockroaches. Okay. Nobody likes a fucking roach. So I'm over here having been inconvenienced again by this theater, and now I have to sit next to a cockroach in the theater. And then the cleaner guy came in, and he was kind of sweeping around. He didn't have to do much because we were the only ones in there. And we were like, hey, by the way, there's like a giant cockroach over here. And instead of being like, oh, I'll see if I can get it, the guy was like, oh yeah, he bought a ticket. What? that's an incredibly hilarious thing to say. He was serious. He was like, he bought a ticket. I am not going to try to get this cockroach out of here right now. There's no way. Even though we have 25 minutes until the next movie. You could have spent your whole 25 minutes that was supposed to spend cleaning this fucking place. There's nothing to clean because we're the only ones in here. So when the next movie started, I could have swore the recliner was like, went back, and this cockroach kicked his fucking feet back, had a goddamn Diet Coke 32 ounce, and watched the second film with us. You are not going to catch me back at the Pike Theater anymore. I'm so sorry. It's been one too many times. It's been one too many times. And I just discovered that the AMC at Marina Pacifica has a half off night on Tuesday and Wednesday. So there's just no excuse anymore. The Pike has pissed me off one too many times. And I am sorry. I be giving hella chances, okay? I do not want to be in an argument with a business. But at the same time, it's been bad. And that's number 5. That is the 5th time. The Toy Story situation was the 5th time in a row, by the way. Every time I go there, there's an issue, and I'm not going there anymore. Okay. So, wow, we just hit 51 minutes. I thought I was only going to do like a 20-minute episode today. But anyways, that is going to be it for me today, you guys. I am going to see the Odyssey, on Wednesday this week, at the AMC, girl. At the fucking AMC. I ain't going to no damn Cinemark anymore, okay? She lost her fucking chance. So I'm going to see the Odyssey next week. So next episode, we will probably talk about that. Okay. I think I'm going to bring a notebook. I think I'm going to bring a notebook and take notes. I think we might do a nice little breakdown of the movie. Okay. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good week, a good weekend, and enjoy your summer. Stay fucking cool, bitch. It is hot outside. And yeah, I will see you next week. Bye.